Hello everyone, Steven here from Redolescence and welcome back to another fragrance review. Thank you so much for watching. And in this video, we're going to be taking a closer look at a very popular fragrance from the house of Giorgio Armani, and this one is called Armani Code. So here's the bottle. This one was released in 2004, and the perfumer for this one, it was actually a three-way collaboration. The perfumers are Antoine Lee, Antoine Maison-Dieu, both of whom have actually done scents for État Libre d'Orange. The latter has done scents for Comme des Garçons. And the third perfumer who worked on this project is Clement Gavari, who has done scents for Tom Ford as well as Prada. So quite the trio of perfumers that we had working on this scent. Now there are a few different versions of this scent on the market, a few different flankers. So there's of course the original, which is the one that we're going to be taking a look at. There's Armani Code Sport, Armani Code Ultimate. So just be conscious as a consumer, there are a few different flankers out there. Now this is a very successful scent, and I say that because it actually won the Fifi Fragrance of the Year award in 2006, 2 years after its release. And this fragrance is classified as an Oriental Spicy. Next up, let's take a look at the presentation. Now, I do apologize, I don't have the box for this one. I've actually had this fragrance for many, many years, but a quick Google search will satisfy your curiosity if you're itching to see what it looks like. But it's a pretty standard box, same color as the bottle and whatnot. So let's take a look at the bottle. So you have the name of the fragrance here in the front, Armani Code. You have a sticker at the bottom, with your information, size, and concentration, of course. Pretty unique shape to the bottle. The cap comes off. It clicks into place very securely, so you can pick this one up from the cap, no qualms there. The only thing is my atomizer actually kind of broke. I dropped this a few years back and now it squirts instead of sprays. So I wasn't able to get a good distribution, but from what I remember, the distribution on this one used to be great, covered a lot of surface area, and that's the presentation for Armani Code by Giorgio Armani. So my good friend Brandon writes, "It's a love it or hate it fragrance. Huge compliment factor. Has a very sensual element and the ladies love this one." Sai reiterates by saying it's sensual, slightly sweet leather tobacco-based scent that is pretty versatile. Great choice for work, dates, and clubbing. A true classic that unfortunately flies under the radar. Frankie calls this a sweet leathery scent with excellent projection and longevity. A compliment getter for sure, however it can be overpowering when over-applied. And Leon says the tonka bean and leather are masterfully blended to perfection. Over-applying can produce a powdery vibe. Timeless classic. Malik writes, "This scent has something which makes me really confident. Maybe because it is very masculine, but at the same time very elegant, which is a big plus. I think this should be worn in occasions where you have to show gentle dominance without using many words." Robert has very fond memories of this very sexy offering from Armani. It was his favorite date scent at one time. Sadly, he hardly ever reaches for it anymore as his collection has grown over the years, and Robert concludes by writing, "This fragrance helped me get the girl of my dreams in high school. This is a gem for sure." So when you first spray on Armani Code, you are going to get a little bit of citrus. Now the two listed citrus notes are bergamot and lemon. I get more lemon than anything, and it adds a nice fresh tartness to the opening. It doesn't smell sour like some other offerings. I know I recently reviewed CK Encounter Fresh. That one actually kind of smells a little sour, even bitter. This one actually smells very fresh and very appealing in the opening. Now, of course, the lemon note doesn't last for a very long time. It starts to die out after a couple of minutes. And then what you get is this tobacco-leather combination that I think is very sensual, as my subscribers put it. And it does indeed have a very sexy smell to it. Now, I don't think that sexy smell is made entirely without the help of the use of a few sweet ingredients, which can be found in the mid and the base of this scent. So you have a little bit of star anise. Now, star anise is one of those ingredients that actually has a smell that's evocative of licorice. So if you're not a fan of licorice, you might still like this one because it's not used in high concentration. I know that seems to be one of the deterrents in many fragrances. There is another one on the market by Lolita Lempica called Al Masculin, and that one has a lot of licorice, but also a lot of aniseed or star anise, I forget which one. And that one could be a little bit cloyingly sweet and overbearing to many. This one, on the the other hand, has that just a little bit of sweetness, which adds that sensual undertone and mid-tone to the scent, but it's not overpowering, and at no point does it become cloyingly sweet. So there is a little bit of that spicy element, which allows this one to be categorized as an oriental spicy scent. But also in the base, you do have this tonka bean note, which actually provides a smoothness to the composition. Now, of course, I cannot conclude talking about the smell of the scent without mentioning this other ingredient, which I think is praiseworthy and has gotten a little bit of attention. It's also a very unique ingredient in the scent, and it's one called, olive blossom. Now, olive blossom is a very unique ingredient. I can't really say that I have smelled an olive blossom before or that I've smelled it in other fragrances. I have smelled a fragrance by Slumber House called Pear and Olive, and I've also smelled one by Hutiamart called Ciel d'Aragne, which both of those contain olive, or the use of olive blossom or olive as a fruit or whatever. In this scent, on the other hand, it kind of has that same smoothness as the other ones, except the other ones I would say are more fruity offerings. Nothing about the scent smells fruity to me. I do have to say that it adds a bit of a sweetness to the composition. I can't tell if it's from the tonka bean or from, the olive blossom, but it also adds a smoothness to the composition, which I actually quite like. Now, it may be what's responsible for causing a little bit of like a powdery feel to the scent. I know some people have said it smells powdery on their skin. I do think that if you over apply and you put too much of it on, it could create a powdery feel to it. I would actually be more inclined to call this balmy than anything. Overall, I think it's a great scent. I think it's a very high compliment getter. The ladies really enjoy this one. My fiance really likes this one, and when I was younger, I actually stole this, permanently borrowed it from my brother, who doesn't really wear fragrances so much anymore. And my go-tos for formal occasions were Armani Attitude and Armani Code. This is a great scent, high versatility, high compliment factor. Last up, we have the rating. First up, we have uniqueness and overall smell, and I'm going to give Armani Code a 10 out of 10. Now, this is truly an iconic scent, and it has a scent of its own. Now, I know a lot of clones have been spawned since the release of this scent, but this is the originator. This is the first fragrance that smelled in this way, and for that reason, and for the success at getting Fragrance of the Year, of course, this is no slouch in the industry. This is a great fragrance, very iconic of its generation, and it happens to be one of my favorites, and it does possess a very unique smell, not only because of the ingredients used, but because of the blend of those ingredients. The only thing that I do think is compromised is that fixatives weren't used very successfully because the performance isn't the best, but I didn't take off any points for that. As far as longevity on this scent goes, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. Now, this is an eau de toilette concentration. It kind of acts like an eau de toilette as well, so 4 to 6 hours is expected, but I have gotten upwards of 7 or 8 hours. As far as projection goes, this is also a 6 out of 10 for me. This does radiate within an arm's length for about 2 hours, and then it starts to sit closer to the skin, and that will kind of be contingent on what occasions you want to wear this for. Which brings us to versatility. I give this one a 10 out of 10. Now, the only thing is I don't think it's a unisex scent. I think this one does lean a little bit more masculine when you consider the ingredients being used, like tobacco and leather. But of course, I think every scent is unisex. Wear what you want. Don't let anybody tell you what you can or cannot wear. As far as age range, I think this also has a youthful appeal to it, but I can see a more mature gentleman wearing this one as well. As far as occasions, the scent is certainly evocative of the colder weather, whereas the performance, I think, would allow it to shine in the hotter weather. And as far as social scenarios, this is definitely a dressed up fragrance. Because of the price, you can find this discounted. You can wear this casually as well, but this, because of the sensuality, can also work as a night out fragrance. So I think the versatility on this one is a 10 out of 10, great fragrance. And lastly, we have presentation. Of course, there is an iconic bottle now, so now whenever you see this silhouette, you know it's Armani Code. It is a unique bottle, but I really don't think it's anything too special. I gave this one a 6 out of 10. And overall, I'm going to give Armani Code by Giorgio Armani a 9 out of 10. This fragrance can very easily be a 10 out of 10. It has a lot of really fond memories from me, really high compliment factor, very unique scent, iconic bottle when you take a look at the shape, and it's very different from its predecessors and its successors. The only thing that really compromises this scent is the performance. The longevity isn't the best, and we can't necessarily say that it has gotten worse with reformulations, and I do believe it's been reformulated, but I have one of the original bottles. I've had this one for, I want to say, close to 10 years now, so I would imagine I had this probably one of the first batches that came out, so, and it still doesn't perform all that well on me. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That was my review of Armani Code by Giorgio Armani. If you own or have tried this scent, please let me know what you think by leaving a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to rate and subscribe for future videos. So again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. This has been Steven with another fragrance review from Radolescence. We'll see you soon.